Good evening from the great state of Wisconsin for the Belly Up Sports Cup Series here for the Wisconsin 150 at Road America Raceway. My name is David Westergreen. I am joined, as always, by David Huckleberry, and apparently at the road courses, James Watson fills in for Zach Evans every time because Zach must just hate the road courses. But James, you're here with me tonight. We are in race number 2 of our round of 16 here in the Elite Belly Up Sports Cup Series playoffs for the Cup Series here. So, quick thoughts tonight before we jump into the starting lineup, because I believe we're already gridded and getting ready to make a pace lap around this long 4-mile stretch. What do you expect to see tonight?
Yeah, we were talking. This might be one of the more open, up for grabs road course races we've had in quite some time. Road America isn't the most technically difficult track out there, but obviously we all know it's definitely nowhere near easy, and it's actually quite difficult. But given the draft and the long straightaways and the level of talent we have in this series, it might be anyone's guess on who's going to win this time around.
I think you're right. We'll jump into that here as we bounce into the starting grid for the Wisconsin 150, and Ethan Stanley has been dethroned at the last second. The 4D Raceware Pole Award winner is that car on your screen right there. It is number 66, Blake Reynolds for Channel 199 Sim Racing. To his outside is his teammate Ethan Stanley. In the number 91 car, Adriano Pinero making his second start of the season and the second start in his Belly Up Sports Cup Series career, qualifies in third. And Zach Novak, the other Channel 199 Sim Racing car, qualifies in P4. Last week's winner, Tyler Fody, takes home P5 for Lake Norman Motorsports. He'll be alongside Gavin Hibbs in 6th for Fueled Up Racing. Justin Wadsworth, the 2024 B Cup Series champion, there in P7 alongside rookie driver Daniel Gore in P8. David Tooker starts 9th for Pro Edge, and Chad Frankenfield will go from alongside him in 10th. Scott Crump and Matthew Weeks, best friends there in row 6, round out our top dozen. Starting in 13th will be Justin Vandermarl in the Fueled Up Racing 54. Alongside him will be Bojo Ray Bracey in the South Shore Racing number 7. Gilberto Javier with an excellent qualifying run for Shift Esports alongside Jonathan Cutlip for Fueled Up Racing, looking for a good run as he chases a championship. Ty McIntosh and Seth Rawls make up row number 9 with Ethan Burrell and Jesse Racimus there in row 10. Caleb Pecummer and Tate Lytle with a mysterious qualifying run from the 56 car there in row 11. Sean Judson, Michael Goodman make up row number 12. And that was all the cars that took time. The Road America reached out and bit everybody from 24th on back. You'll have Ryan Gable, Michael Hosack, Corey Abbott, Brent Jones, Jaden Racimus, Dustin Dewar, Harrison Talon, Carlos Acosta, and Gavin Higgins rounding out the field tonight. Everybody back here did not get a qualifying lap down, struggled with this race course, and James, I think the way we've seen, 8 drivers did not put a lap down in qualifying without having an off track of some kind. That could lead to a more of a chaotic race in the midfield because of these, like you mentioned, long straightaways and hard braking zones.
Absolutely, and it's not all that surprising to see. It's so easy to get off track on this track. It's so easy to make a mistake. These are some of the hardest brake zones you'll come across because you're having a high rate of speed going into them. And even though these next gens are a lot more akin to like a GT4 than a traditional stock car, they're still not the easiest things to wrestle around a road course. Especially going down into the brake zone in turn 5 where it's downhill on top of all that. Yeah, I'm actually surprised we got as many people who did get a lap in that counted.
Yeah, and remember in iRacing, obviously an incident counts for even just pushing your wheels off of where iRacing deems track limits hitting. So some of these locations, such as that area there where there's some grass, you could clip it with your right side tires, and while you might not have spun out or had an incident or anything, your qualifying lap would be effectively negated, and that might have happened to fellas like Ryan Gable and Gavin Higgins, who are going to start in the back of the field tonight. I do want to call attention back to the last race James called with us here on the Belly Up Sports Cup Series where we were at, again, another road course. We were in Zandvoort, James, and the guy on pole, Blake Reynolds, took that race home. Seemed like he is one of those guys that really wants to get up here and challenge Ethan Stanley for these road course wins. He was able to take pole from him. The difference in their lap time was 46 hundredths of a second, or 56 hundredths of a second. They are very even on overall pace. I am really quite interested to see, do you think Blake Reynolds can take it to Ethan Stanley, who has appeared to fix his internet issues for this race?
Oh, absolutely. We all know Blake is one of the best drivers out there, and you need a lot of driver skill to be able to bring home the win on a road course, especially going up against someone like Ethan Stanley. So just beating Ethan in qualifying alone, that's throwing the gauntlet down that Ethan is going to have his work cut out for him this time around.
Yeah, I'm also interested to see what P3 there, Adriano Pinero in the green and yellow car for Lake Norman Motorsports can do as well. The IndyCar champion looking to maybe have an upset alert here for the rest of these Channel 199 Toyotas. The pace car is off for the Wisconsin 150. That first long pace lap here at Road America is over, and we are getting ready to go racing in Wisconsin. The green flag is out, and Blake Reynolds on the loud pedal, and we are racing. Long straightaway here into turn one, hard braking right-hander. You'll see some guys making some aggressive moves. It's Ryan Gable peeking out to the inside. He's being aggressive early in the back of the field. These two do not want to let these early corners decide who's leading this race. Reynolds with the preferred line through the inside lane. He will take the lead away from Ethan Stanley, but Stanley's going to continue to fight back. Now Zach Novak trying to grab second away from Ethan Stanley as Blake Reynolds clears to the race lead into turn 5.
There we go. Here's the first big trouble area. Is everyone going to get through safely?
Up front they did. I think there might have been a little bit of trouble. Yes, Chad Frankenfield, David Tooker around, Jesse Racimus around, Ty McIntosh is around. Looks like wasn't enough to bring out a yellow flag. We stay green, just a couple of cars spinning out, but two of those being playoff cars in David Tooker and Chad Frankenfield. Take a look at what happened here. I mean, it was Chad in the 15. Oh, it's Matthew Weeks that gets up to the inside and gets a piece of both Chad and David Tooker. So 3 playoff drivers involved in this one. Man, Matthew Weeks got into turn 5 just really, really deep. That's why. Got a little bump from Ray Bracey. Got that accordion back to Bojo, and just that little bit of contact. I mean, Bojo he slowed up and woed up for the corner. He's kind of in the same spot he was, but that sent Matthew Weeks down into there and cleared out Chad and David Tooker. Turn 5 is now clear. Everybody is, I believe, back onto the front straightaway to complete lap number 1. That was the lap at Road America. Our whole entire replay system there. Here's Ty McIntosh off track. Contact with Carlos Acosta. Contact with David Tooker. Oh, and also Corey Abbott. It's going all kinds of wrong for Ty McIntosh, who was already not feeling great about his chances tonight. And it's gone from bad to worse for the driver of the 10. We'll take a look at what happened from Corey Abbott's point of view there. Obviously, Carlos sitting in the middle of the track. They go right to avoid him. I don't think Corey could have possibly predicted that Ty was going to pull back across. Of course, the car in front of Corey went to the right of Ty and probably should have followed him through there.
Stanley's
back to live
right now. Oh,
so is Zach Novak.
Blocked a little bit from Novak.
And Novak's to the inside of Ethan Stanley right here through turn 6, heading towards turn 7. Stanley defensively able to hold Novak off, but you can see just that little bit of racing between those two drivers has opened up a gap up towards Blake Reynolds. And now Tyler Fode's going to be able to send it to the inside on Gavin Hibbs. A little bit of contact, but Hibbs is able to hang on to 4th place. up front. These three drivers really just putting on an early clinic. Got all three of these Toyotas on the same team running 1, 2, 3. They're missing two of their team members tonight. Paul Mikolaj. Oh, Stanley off the course just a little bit. Got the right sides on the grass. And around goes Zach Novak for second. Going to note they have two more cars in this stable. You've got Paul Mikolajczyk and Garrison Hogan. Neither of them present tonight. Both of them playoff drivers. I believe when Mikolajczyk's interview at Daytona, he said he was going to be missing this race. Oh, Carlos missed turn 5. You'll have that. It's a tough corner to make.
Carlos Cam.
Be a good one. I don't know if we can go back and get it. Yeah.
Darn.
Front 5 have... Oh, there he is.
It only shows the aftermath. That it doesn't go back and...
Yep. Right. Front 5 have broken away mightily around Daniel Gore and Adriano Pinheiro. That is where the first battle on track is. Gore has taken away the 6th position from Pinheiro. Justin Wadsworth now working over the number 26 as well. And Ryan Gable has rocketed from 25th on the starting grid up to 9th. Used a little bit of that first lap chaos to move forward. Now Ryan Gable working on Justin Wadsworth for that 8th position. He might have a real opportunity to get up into the top, 6 or 7 here in that 0-1. Going to get underneath Justin Wadsworth right here into turn 6 up the hill. Ooh, did not think a lot better of it.
Yeah, that's probably the way to go. That is, it's so inviting to make a move up there, but it's really hard to actually pull it off. But man, Gable does not want to spend any more time behind the 6 car.
Yeah, he's aggressive right now as Ryan Gable, and with good reason. It seems like that car's pretty quick, right in front of his teammate Scott Crump, 2-time winner this season. And Crump, I'll tell you, he's finished top 3 in a couple of our road course races over the last couple of different stints, and he would like nothing more than to have a nice, clean, quiet race tonight in that 90.
Yeah, he's had some interesting races all throughout Elite the last couple of weeks. But he is our Talladega Grand National winner. So
True.
Not all bad for Scott.
He's got 2 wins this season in the Cup Series as well, and I think at least a podium in one of our road course races of late. And he's certainly looking for just a nice solid top 10 run, I believe. Up front, the gap between Blake Reynolds and Zach Novak is maintained at about 0.8 of a second. Ethan Stanley still sitting there in third, just behind those guys, maintaining a very close proximity to Zach Novak, but Stanley still firmly in that third spot. That is the all-time winningest driver on the Elite road courses. He's got, I believe, 9 total road course wins. I am pretty sure. I would have to double-check that stat.
That's talking this year alone, right?
No. You would think so, but he actually had the streak snapped. He went 7 in a row and then had it snapped this season when the internet went out of Zandvoort. Now he's getting underneath Zach Novak for that second spot. So battle between these two once again. Very similar fashion to how Novak got the second position away from Stanley. Stanley takes it right back.
Yeah, now he's got to try to set sail, see if he can get back up to Blake.
Yeah, so I'm noted road course lover for sure is Ethan Stanley, and he is the interesting piece will be, can Stanley find the little bit that it seems like Blake Reynolds has on him right now? And the way I would believe Stanley's going to find that extra pace is he's going to work in the pit strategy to try and get around the 66 car, because I think Stanley, Novak, and Reynolds all believe whoever's in front can hold the others off pretty well, pretty effectively. So I think you're going to have to use that.
Oh, is that?
Oh, Gilberto off track. Oh, no. That's no good.
Oh.
Really strong qualifying effort for Gilberto. Qualified up in 15th. Got into the gravel there, and I think that's turn 7 right before you get into the carousel, and off he went into the tires.
Yeah, I think I think there needs a tow truck down at Speedville.
He drove it away. It's definitely hurt. There's the right front tire is no longer pointing in the right direction for Gilberto. Lovely 3-wide TV colors there, though, on the 85. But this car, I think, is going to struggle to finish this race. Unfortunate for a guy who had a really inspiring qualifying run, all things considered. Moving back towards the midfield, you've got Justin Vandermarl pressuring Michael Hosack. Hosack in that 24 car, I would say probably not. Neither of these guys are particular road course lovers. Maybe Vandermarl a little bit more than Hosack. But Hosack running the Halloween colors because tomorrow is Halloween. Oh, no, it's Thursday. It's Friday. Friday is Halloween. But this is the closest proximity race to Halloween. Hosack up here having a decent run so far, running 19th. But here comes Justin Vandermarl to the inside of Michael Hosack, and Hosack's going to let him by.
Goated calendar lover, David Westergreen.
Oh, well, there goes Justin Vandermarl. And Seth Rawls will sneak past, so will Hosack. Move Vandermarl back outside the top 20, and Seth Rawls back into it. 5 laps complete. Carlos Acosta heading down pit road. He's experienced a little bit of trouble early in this one and bringing the Do Good Motorsports entry in for some service. Wave at the webcam, Carlos. Just going to see if he's listening to it. Oh, no, he's not listening to us. The battle up front is... Carlos has called it a night for the 0-2. Live shot of the team hauling the car away. Ethan Stanley is starting to close in just a little bit on Blake Reynolds. Last time by, he was a 10th quicker. See it right there. Now, I want to note, we do have a stage. You'll see it at the top of the pylon there on the top left of your screen. The stage will include a caution flag here at the road courses, used in the past to somewhat shake things up, provide the kind of real life circumstances where guys can short pit the stage and get tires and then stay out, or stay out for some of those precious playoff points. But overall, I think 4 laps until the stage is decided, but we also might have a battle for the lead. Though Stanley just whiffed turn 6 completely and lost all of the ground he gained back up in 5. He's still losing ground.
Yeah, I get the feeling another mistake right there. Novak's gonna
look at that, man,
through the carousel.
James, I am not a noted road course lover, but in driving the road courses, I make those little mistakes quite often, right? You can feel when you miss the corner a little bit, like Ethan Stanley just did. But looking at this top 5, how close they're racing right now, you can't afford to make those mistakes. We've seen it from just about all of these top 3
right now. As Novak looking to the inside,
exactly. It's that all stemmed from that little bobble Stanley had going up towards turn 6, and that opened the door for Novak to make that move. And Stanley's going to have to defend, but in so defending, look at the gap that Blake Reynolds has been able to open up. Now that gap means nothing. We're getting a caution in a couple of laps, but still.
Novak once again looking to the outside. At least I think it's Novak. It's really hard to tell these two cars apart. At least Gavin was nice enough to have a different color.
Right, so is Tyler Fode and Gavin Hibbs right here behind in the blue car. That car had been red for much of the season. I am quite thankful Gavin Hibbs has switched over to blue. Helps us out, lets the colors pop on the broadcast. I'm interested to see who's the first car to make the call to come down pit road and make sure they don't take tires on this pit stop, or rather they don't pit under this this caution flag at the stage and get the race lead on the back end of it, because I think you'll see some guys stay out for points, especially guys who got in those early wrecks. I think Chad Frankenfield will be staying out for points. Jonathan Cutlip should be staying out for points. I think Seth Rawls will probably stay out for points. Matthew Weeks, David Tooker. All those guys need to acquire as many points as they can, so they're all going to stay out. This front group is going to pit.
Oh.
Is Zach Novak off the track now?
Novak saw Stanley and was like, anything you can do, I can do better.
He did it. They're still side by side all the way through the carousel down here towards the King. Novak has that bottom
way
lane.
On the grass for Novak.
Oh.
He had to save it. That was nearly disaster.
Now down towards Canada corner. It's turn 12, I believe. And Stanley's going to have the line. He'll be able to clear in front of Novak here, but this dicing. Oh!
Lytle, I think, is done with that contact. Oh, that is hard impact. Oh, yep, he just alt F4. That is huge. Playoff implications.
Tate Lytle is not in the playoffs, surprisingly. I know that comes as a shock. But yeah, there goes Tate Lytle. Big hit. Breaks the left front. 56 car is done. Wow. Another incident there through it's turn 2 for Dustin Dewar.
Actually, sir, it's turn 3 right there.
You're right. I don't know my numbers on this one. This is a lot of corners in this track.
Because
all those incidents.
And the straightaway in between. Oh wow, Chad pitting. That's
interesting.
I don't.
No, I think. Call. And I think as the leaders come up to the front straightaway this next time through, they will hit pit road. They're in turn 5 right now. So Chad Frankenfield, David Tooker trying to gain their track position back and sacrificing the stage points by pitting now, and they'll be staying out under the stage caution here in 2 laps time. So that's good. It's the opposite of what I thought they would do, but hey, more power to them.
And that's the thing too, is that I don't know if they would have gotten stage points with where they were, because there's still going to be a lot of cars in front of them, and the guys that we're anticipating would pit are so far ahead that I don't know if they would be able to pass them staying out. So it makes so much sense, trying to flip the stage in the opposite direction when you're at least mostly sure you're not going to get stage points no matter what you do.
We lose Tyler Fody? Oh no, he just fell way off the pack here. Something must have happened to the 40 car there.
Yeah,
he is way weird. Back.
It's not showing.
I'll find it. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I saw some. Oh yeah, Fody had an off-track excursion on lap 7. So here it is. Yeah, coming through this corner, he just completely whiffed. Got in a piece of the grass and.
Oh my God! What a save!
This is an incredible save, but it's pretty useful when you have a 7-second lead over the next guy behind you. Can afford to slow down that much and still keep your speed. But Blake Reynolds, Ethan Stanley, all those guys, they did not pit. I believe the pits are closed.
They are.
So everybody now will come down pit road after that stage caution, with the exceptions of Chad Frankenfield and David Tooker. Both have damage. That is going to shake things up.
See Ray Bracey right there looking to maybe get himself some stage points.
It's it nicely in P10 is Bojo. Having a pretty good one. Good run so far, except for the contact on lap 1. That's dented up the nose of the 7 car. Tooker's pretty far back. You see where he is right there. And of course, I mentioned Bojo, and he locks up the right front and loses some time to Jonathan Cutlip in front of him there. But beautifully painted number 7 car for Ray. I'm excited to show that one off here, at least for a little bit on the broadcast, because it looks awesome.
Yeah, Ray's going to have his work cut out for him, though, holding Gable off, especially with all that front-end damage. That is going to kill the aerodynamic efficiency of that Camaro.
I don't know that it's hurting him too bad right now, but I'm sure he'll try to take the extra seconds to fix it once we come down for the stage caution here. Next lap as Blake Reynolds rips off the final corner up front as we get Ray going into Canada corner. That's the gap up to Blake Reynolds there from 10th place, and Reynolds is at the line now. 1 to go in this stage, and you can look up the road a little bit. You'll see a red and black car. That's Chad Frankenfield trying desperately to stay on the lead lap. I'm willing to bet he had a speeding penalty. Dave, can you confirm that? Because David Tooker is a full minute up the road from him.
Bad repair damage.
Ah, that'll do it. So he fixed a minute of damage, came out right in front of the race leaders. He is going to have to push very hard to stay on the lead lap here so that he can stay out and take the spots from these guys. If Blake Reynolds notices what's happening, he needs to get up here, push, and try to put Chad a lap down.
I don't know. Do you really? Oh, Krupp going around in turn 3.
Scott was 12th. They'll lose the spot to Ethan Burrell, but ultimately he wasn't going to be able to get around both of those two guys. Oh my goodness.
What a
split between them.
Oh, Scott sent it, but unfortunately put a little too much postage on it.
Yep. It's going to be tough for him to get the stage points there from 12th anyway, so works out. The battle is for that stage point. Brian Gable, Ray Bracey battling it out. I think Brian's going to get Ray. See if Bojo can cross him over and stays in behind. Towards the carousel, but Blake Reynolds did not catch Chad Frankenfield, by the way. He will, I believe, lose the race lead to Chad Frankenfield once this stage caution completes, although I think David Tooker will actually be in front, but that won't matter for Blake Reynolds. He'll be restarting in 3rd, I presume, and should have a pretty good opportunity here after the stage caution to move back to the race lead. He'll be the stage 1 winner. Will Blake Reynolds in front of Ethan Stanley, Gavin Hibbs, Zach Novak, Tyler Fody, Adriano Pinero, Justin Wadsworth, Daniel Gore, Jonathan Cutlip, and Ray. It'll be Ryan Gable picking up a stage point over Ray Bracey there in the top 10. Race control Sam Boutwell has thrown the yellow flag to get the field all caught up to the pace car as quickly as possible. With this really big track, it is very easy to get these guys all spread out and not caught up. So we will go ahead and jump to commercial break here after this first stage, and we'll come back with you guys for the pit stop and the restart.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Now let's hear about Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing picture. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand toward victory lane. Don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
Have you ever just forgot to hold the brakes during a wreck? Are they just not able to pronounce your name in a race?
Paul Mikolajczyk.
Have you ever been wrecked by Chad? Hi, I'm Ray Bracey, and I'm here to share with you quick shifts. Watch all the highlights, lowlights, and other shenanigans in the top racing leagues, such as the Elite Racing League, and... But don't just take my word for it.
Before Quick Shifts, I was depressed. I wasn't able to relive my favorite moments from each race. Now with Quick Shifts, I can go out there and listen to all my favorite banter from the race while seeing all the crashes and good racing once again.
I don't remember life before Quick Shifts. I had to listen to Cameron Broke and Ty Mac and Cheese recap Oscar every week in the 3-Wide TV booth, but now, thanks to Quick Shifts, I actually enjoy my Oscar recaps.
So try quick shifts. You suffered through it one time, why not suffer through it again?
Side effects of quick shifts include constipation, diarrhea, dizziness, dry mouth, abnormal heart rhythms, internal bleeding, numb tongue, unfiltered honesty, loud hiccups, laughing uncontrollably, mandatory dancing, midnight munchies, blue urine, red urine, no urine, and many more.
You got another one, play it. All right, we're back. Do you have any sponsor reads tonight, Dave?
Worldwide Technology Raceway. Pull it up real quick. Worldwide Technology Raceway is a motorsport racing facility in Madison, Illinois, just east, close to the Gateway. Features a 1.25-mile oval that hosts NASCAR Xfinity, NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, and the NTT Car Series. A 2-mile infield road course used by Speed, SCCA, and Porsche Club of America. A quarter-mile NHRA-sanctioned drag strip, or a mission drag race, Midwest Nationals, and the Kartplex, state-of-the-art karting facility. That's my read for Worldwide Technology.
We'll take it. And I believe Zach Novak has received an end-of-line penalty for speeding on pit road. That'll make it tough.
The biggest of oofs.
Yeah, it's
Head over driver chat. He's going back for.
That's
what they all say.
well,
Yeah, that's all right. That's fine.
that's all right.
We'll see.
Yeah, it could work. Yeah, it will not work out for him, but he'll probably be fast enough to get back up towards the top group here by the end of tonight's race. Although it probably does pull Zach Novak from the list of contenders for the race win, which was already a pretty short list. It was down to probably 4 drivers, and now it might be down to 3 between Ethan Stanley, Blake Reynolds, Gavin Hibbs. Though it will be interesting to see if David Tooker and Chad Frankenfield can hang on to the race lead, as they will have control of this race at 1-2. And then Reynolds, Ethan Stanley, Gavin Hibbs will be 3, 4, 5. Tyler Fody will restart 6th. Adriano Pinero will restart 7th. Justin Wadsworth 8th. Jonathan Cutlip 9th. Ryan Gable 10th. I say that like we're about to restart. We still have half the course to drive around. We will follow Zach Novak's trek back to the back of the field there. He's going to end up around 25th once all is said and done. We still have, I believe, another lap of caution here, James. So, you know.
Yay. Awesome.
And a lap at Road America is like 5 minutes. So, let's talk about the playoffs. Because we can. That's eventually the chase for the championship here in the Elite Belly Up Sports Cup Series. On the graphic, you can see Tyler Fode did lock himself in. You've seen his number in green on the pylon all night long. All numbers in blue are on the pylon are drivers that are participating in the playoff. At this point, we do not have guys who are, quote, in or out, other than Tyler Fode, who is locked to the next round. Right now, Fode, the only driver that is safe, obviously with a stage win and 10 points. Blake Reynolds looking very strong, even after him having a very solid run last week at Las Vegas. That seems to be one car you could probably pencil in to that round of 10. Other cars that are probably in: Ethan Stanley, Matthew Weeks, and some others. But I would note that Zach Novak crashed out last week. Not in the yelling at the over the radio sense. I mean, he crashed the 42 car last week. He was involved in an incident. He's finished down in 37th. A speeding penalty like this, taking him out of probably winning contention, and I might be underrating the Coke Series Final Four driver, but Zach Novak is a very capable driver. He's going to have to recover nicely. It's possible, but when you get back into the muck, as it were, it makes things much more difficult to recover. I think Daniel Gore, his rookie companion back there, has also received one of those speeding penalties, and both of those guys are going to have to charge back towards the front after running much of this top stint in the top 10.
Yeah, they're going to need probably race control man Sam or race control men rather, Sam and Dom, to get pretty busy if they're gonna have any hopes of really catching back up. We're gonna need a caution.
Right, and caution flags are possible at road courses. Obviously, what will be required to initiate a caution is a multi-car near track blocking level incident among this pack of cars. And when you look at what is a smaller field here between a few guys not showing up and then a significant amount have already been retired from the race tonight, that does make it a little more difficult to get that track blocking style incident that these guys would be willing to throw a caution flag for. And if you're in the back of the field like Novak and Gore are, you're a lot more likely to be caught up in said incident, aren't you, James?
Yeah, and when you have a mistake like this where it costs you so much track position and puts you back in where you really shouldn't be, it always feels like it automatically just the universe cosigns on you immediately getting nuked. Like it never seems to fail. It's like, oh, speeding penalty, and I'm wrecked in a spot I wouldn't have been in.
Right. And that's a self-inflicted issue usually, but with these speeding penalties, it's tough. It's just a tough spot to be in, especially for guys as talented as Danny G and Zach Novak, who are not prone to those types of, I'll call them, mistakes. Danny said he wasn't speeding, doesn't think he was. Hard for the iRacing computer to mess that one up, but at the same time, I get it. I've been on pit road where I went and I was like, oh, I definitely sped, and then it didn't give me a penalty, so who knows?
That's what you say to the officer when he rolled down the window. I was not speeding, sir.
Oh, I didn't think I was speeding. Who did speed, though, was David Tooker and Chad Frankenfield. They sped through their pit stop on lap 8 rather than lap 10 to try and stay out and generate a little action at the front of the field, see if they couldn't snag control of this race with some clean air. Tooker and Frankenfield will be on the front row here, rolling through the final corner. Finally, James, pace car is ready to pop off of the track. We're going to get ready to go green here in Wisconsin once again.
Yeah, we survived. Our long national nightmare is over.
Caution was lengthy for that stage, but we are back racing once again. David Tooker on the loud pedal, and we are green. He is going to pull Blake Reynolds through, and Chad Frankenfield's going to be forced to defend as Tooker gets away early. Tyler Fode with that massive save, able to catch back up to these guys. Frankenfield with a strong entrance to turn 1, but Tooker sideways in the front. They're 3 wide for the lead.
And they're 3 wide in the back. Oh, boy.
Frankenfield gets it. Reynolds to the inside of Frankenfield here. Side by side behind between Stanley and Hibbs.
Hossack in the gravel.
Michael Hossack goes to the gravel trap. We stay green. It's Blake Reynolds to the inside of Chad Frankenfield towards turn 5. Here comes Stanley looking to the inside. He'll think better of it. Frankenfield dives in deep. Reynolds crosses him over. Reynolds spins out the 15.
And Hibbs goes around.
Gavin Hibbs going to be the one who gets collected and all that. Blake Reynolds spins out Chad Frankenfield. David took her back to third. A big gap from those guys, and Ethan Stanley bounced off the front nose of Chad Frankenfield. He's got some sizable damage to the right front corner of that car.
And Gavin Hibbs is going full Kurt Busch on the radio right now.
Surprising no one, you'll be able to hear that rant on Quick Shifts. Please tune in to one of our primary elite sponsors over on Ray Bracey's YouTube channel at Bojo Racing.
All he needed was the "Chad, I hate my chatting job," and it would have been the quote in.
Oh my goodness! So here's Blake Reynolds trying to make that crossover move work. I believe he does, but the contact when he got in behind Chad knocks that 15 car sideways, and then Gavin Hibbs got spun from behind by looked like David Tooker. I think that was almost a separate incident to the Chad Frankenfield incident.
Yeah, that is the slightest bit of contact from Reynolds into Chad. On first glance, I didn't even see it. I'm like, there wasn't any contact, but yeah, it's just the tiniest little touch, and it's just enough to send the 15 around when it's all the car struggling with the load and getting unloaded and stuff like that. Oh dear, that probably would have been on the alternate Quick Shifts video. That one right there.
See the other incident now. We're back to live here. Live pictures as Blake Reynolds continues to lead over Ethan Stanley. Again, Stanley does have some sizable right front damage after getting into Chad Frankenfield while he spun out. And, James, I think back to Chad making the move there to pit early and go out into the front of the field. That's since obviously worked out very poorly.
Way off. Oh no, we got
Caleb
going.
Oh boy.
Oh wow.
Did he miss him? He did miss him. Caleb Pecumer very nearly wiped Seth Rawls and Scott Crump out of the playoffs.
Yeah, they nearly wiped him off the face of the earth. Oh my goodness.
Matthew Weeks just turned Caleb Pecumer.
Ew. Oh my goodness gracious. Who was the car that ended up being right behind Caleb as he just
was it Novak?
Through, I think it might be. Zach Novak might need a new pair of shorts. That was very
We're gonna need to go on board with Zach Novak. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Here it comes.
Jump scare.
Oh my gosh. Oh. Wow.
Wow, that is. Zach is going to need a clean underwear after that. That was nearly the that incident that happens when you have a pit road mistake. That is.
Oh my goodness.
That is wild. Oh
Sorry,
my
that
goodness.
irritates me. I gotta watch that one more time. He blows through there so fast you barely see him. It is full speed.
Sliding into the DMs like.
I am 90% sure that'll be the Quick Shifts thumbnail right there.
Oh my goodness me.
Wow. So Zach Novak's up to P11 with in need of a new pair of shorts, but making ground up nicely. Daniel Gore is P13 after all that chaos. So both of them have actually overcome a significant amount of those troubles as the cars in front of them have kind of, gotten cleaned out, but gone flying around them for one reason or another.
They chatted themselves.
Up front, it is still Blake Reynolds, Ethan Stanley putting pressure on the driver of the 66 here, but not able to make any real headway into this small lead that Blake Reynolds has. Tyler Fode is a few seconds back in the 40 car, sitting in third. Justin Wadsworth, after he made contact with Blake, Blake got off cycle there. Here comes Ethan Stanley to the outside of Reynolds. just as I was about to talk about, like, kind of go through the field. We'll hold off on that while this battle for the lead gets sorted.
And they were also Chad wide for a moment as well.
Here comes Stanley to the outside of Reynolds. He will not be able to grab the lead yet. Through the carousel they go. Ethan Stanley stalking Blake Reynolds right now. It's almost like, James, it's almost like Ethan Stanley turned up the wick after that yellow flag.
Yeah. It's race winning time now. You can't afford to waste any more time. Like, Stanley has to be able to see if he can build a gap and just get into a rhythm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not only that, but he
possible.
Yeah, Stanley needs to. He's looking to try and. Here comes Chad Frankenfield to the inside of Harrison Talon. Late entry into turn 5. Gavin Hibbs, right on by both of them. And Gavin is also trying to recover after the spin there on that opening lap after the stage concluded. He is up to what looks like the 19th, maybe 18th position now. Now going after, looks like Brent Jones, maybe? Yeah, Brent Jones for the 17th spot there. And Hibbs will get it.
Is getting a tally, but sounds like Weeks is gonna appeal for.
I don't know that there's a whole lot to appeal there, James. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah,
he bulldozed the 59 car. I don't know.
And turned him into a curling stone. As here we go, side by side for the lead again.
Can't even react to the news. Here comes Stanley through turn 5. That seems to be where Stanley's much better than Blake, but Blake's usually able to kind of pull him through on this spot, but not that time. Stanley had a really good run on the outside, was able to get to the inside here on this corner, and there it is. Ethan Stanley to the race lead. But not for long. Here comes Blake Reynolds to the inside through the carousel.
Yeah, but Ethan's going to have the momentum on the outside if he can just keep alongside.
Hit the grass a little bit, though. That slowed him up just a tad. Through the kink, it'll be Reynolds, I think, getting a hold of this lead once again. Stanley doing everything in his power, but right now it's not enough.
Yeah, he just can't get clear of the 66.
It's tough. And I'll tell you, James, we've watched a lot of Blake Reynolds. I think Ethan Stanley might need to use a little of the car's body, as it were, in order to move that 66 car by, because Blake would do it to you. He did it to Chad Frankenfield.
Yeah, although they are teammates, so
yes,
I can't imagine it'll be similar. I can't imagine there'll be much of a need for contact from either party. But we have seen teammates mess themselves up before, so who knows?
Worth noting, Zach Novak is up to 7th. He has made a monstrous recovery drive thus far, running laps rather easily faster than both Reynolds and Stanley right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's only about 6+ seconds behind, and if these two keep battling like they have been, somehow Zach Novak might not be out of this.
He might not be
for the win.
Right, and that's surprising given where he restarted and given how close Caleb Pecumer got to ending his day. Here comes Stanley again. Aaron now, just the slightest bit of contact. Stanley was not going to let Blake Reynolds get back on the track without letting him have that race lead.
Yeah, he was like, okay, teammate, let's go. Goodbye.
It's time to go because I am faster. I am going. So here comes Ethan Stanley in the lead for the first time in this race. We are 18. We're over halfway. We're at halfway in this race, and Ethan Stanley has just taken the lead for the first time all night, which I think if you had asked me before the race if that was what I expected to happen, I would tell you no. But from the get-go, we have been adamant that the possibility is there that somebody is able to take care of Ethan Stanley and this group and go for him. And it looks like we had an incident with Gavin Hibbs, actually. You might want to pull the replay on that one before we bring Gavin Hibbs in from the Infield Care Center, but it looks like the 95 car has had an excursion. And here it is.
Off on the grass and the king death.
Oh, my.
Big.
Huge hit. Yeah, playoff implications there. Let's talk to the driver of the 95, Gavin Hibbs. And Gavin, I know it started out really well. You did get some stage points. You were in really good shape to have a shot at the race win tonight, and it seemed like it got taken from you. And take us through what happened out there.
To be honest, David, it's been a rough go these last couple of weeks, whether it's in this league or outside of this league. But yeah, in terms of what happened, I think Tucker said he was sliding going in the 5, and I try to give him as much room as I can, but with how the car is sliding, you're just hoping and praying that it works out your way. It didn't work out that way, and then a couple laps go by. I'm going through the carousel, and then turns out the gas pedal on my Vandertech pedal is just snapped off, and doesn't work anymore. So it looks like the stage points that we got tonight and possible good finish is not going to matter depending on the outcome. So,
man.
Just it's been a rough go these last couple of weeks. Having Dodger Blue on my car to honor a friend of mine who we lost about a week and a half ago. Just wanted to honor him in some way, and these last 2 races have just been dreading, and yeah, just been rough from the get-go.
Sounds good. Condolences for sure, but we did get a chance to watch the blue car at the front of the field and admire it when it was outpacing some of these red and black cars that it was racing against, and got to praise it for that. So we did have that moment at least. Gavin, anyone you want to shout out or thank here before we send you off tonight?
Yeah, Channel 199 and Field Up Racing, Pro Ed Racing, all those guys, it feels like a big family over there. And, those guys have been supportive the last week and a half since what has happened. And, we have fun together Wednesdays, Mondays. And, yeah, I can't thank those guys enough, for all their support. And then my parent team, Strictly Stock Motorsports, and those guys as well.
We appreciate it, Gavin, and look forward to seeing you next week. Hopefully you can pull something out.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah, tough break for Gavin Hibbs for sure. Got the pedal disconnected, and hopefully he's able to remedy that before our next contest there.
Yeah, that's tough. There's nothing really much more you can say than that.
Zach Novak is up to 5th, taking us back to racing. Just went around Justin Wadsworth for that position. He is under 6 seconds behind Ethan Stanley and Blake Reynolds now. This battle for the lead has not gone away. Stanley got around Reynolds, has not been able to pull away from the 66 car, and in fact, Blake Reynolds is probably trying to make his way back around Ethan Stanley. You would have also seen Chad Frankenfield heading down pit road from the 18th position to kick off green flag pit stops, which will be required here during the second stint in order to make it to the end of the race on fuel. On board here with Blake Reynolds, James, I was going to ask if you want to take us through a lap here at Road America?
Yes, sir. Got a long braking zone down here into turn 1, going through the really hard turn 2. All right, we just went through turn 2. Now we're going another hard braking zone down into turn 3. You got to be careful. It's really easy to get on the throttle too much, and this is one of the longest straights on the track, so you can't afford to mess up turn 3 and cost yourself all this momentum. Here, you got to start braking a lot earlier than you think, because you got all this hill that you're going down, just making you carry even more speed. Hit the apex right there on the inside. I tend to brake a little bit before the bridge here. It's really hard to find your turn-in point just because it's a blind corner until it's not. Same thing through a lot of 90-degree corners at this track. So if you just get your turn-in right, you'll be able to get through a lot of them really well. This is another tough braking zone, sneaky tough braking zone. You tend to see a lot of guys go off in that gravel pit right there because of it. Going through the carousel here, I tend to take a wide entry in so I can kind of straight shot off and maximize as much speed off of the corner as I can. Coming up into the kink, you're going to slow down a little bit here in the stock car. Oh, Blake Reynolds is going around!
Oh, right in front of Tyler Fody. Here goes Fody around. Around go Tooker and Novak. Blake Reynolds has lost it from right behind Ethan Stanley while we were on board.
So that's a lap of what not to do at
oh my goodness,
Road America.
The fact that Blake Reynolds was able to hang on to it in that spot where we saw Gavin Hibbs wipe out there and wreck it. Tate Lytle was in a really similar spot and wrecked it. Those guys are both really talented drivers. Blake Reynolds able to back it down and get on the binders and keep this car in one piece. But Ethan Stanley just got an absolute gift from this Channel 199 sim racing teammate.
Yeah, we're on board with him. When he got to the apex, you saw he caught a lot of grass. Like, he turned a lot farther past the inner curb. I'm like, it's an awful lot of grass there. I can't imagine that's going to help him. Oh, look, he's spinning. Okay, that answers that.
Right. Man, so Ethan Stanley goes from barely out in front to now a 4-second gap back to Tyler Fody. And then it is another 5.5 second or total of 5.5 seconds to Zach Novak. But this puts Zach Novak ahead of Blake Reynolds. I mean, Novak is in an excellent position to both pick up a podium and probably have a chance at chasing Ethan Stanley down. He is still running laps faster than Stanley right now, and this makes Zach Novak the primary competitor for Ethan Stanley at this point in the race.
Yeah, and you see about almost got it down to just 5 seconds now. There's still a lot of speed in that 42 car.
Yeah, and that's Novak catching Fody. So you can see just the gap difference between Tyler Fody, who's running second. He's obviously a very fast car, but Zach Novak is just on a different level right now. James, I do wonder if those guys took no tires on their pit stop, and then Novak obviously might have taken 4. That might be helping him, but what I've heard from guys like Ethan Stanley and some of these guys is that the next gen car is so responsive. It just doesn't matter whether you have cold tires or hot tires, right? Because during the caution, the tires cool down anyway, so new tires doesn't really give you any sort of bonus.
Yeah, and plus, at least in my experience, it seems like the tires, for the most part, just kind of keep getting faster and faster and faster, and it takes a while to reach that point to where they fall off the cliff and you need tires, and I just don't think the second stage is long enough for you to really have to worry about that much.
Novak did just get a little bit loose in the gravel there in turn number 2. So a little bit of time lost this time, but I mean, he made up a full 0.7 of a second, 0.6 of a second last time on Ethan Stanley. I mean, they are moving, and I do want to call attention back to that lap 2 crash. Stanley received right front damage, bounced off of Chad Frankenfield. That car is not pristine any longer, and then a lap later, Zach Novak was just in front of Caleb Pacumer, who got punted behind him, and he just barely missed collecting 42 car. So those two incidents, I think, are playing a part in the gap closing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you're correct on that.
through the field. Zach Novak's buddy, Daniel Gore, who had also fallen to the back of the field, has rebounded up into ninth. He just bypassed Adriano Pinero last time by. Looking at Jonathan Cutlip and Ryan Gable just up ahead. Daniel Gore driving a very solid race right now after having to come through the back. And come from the back. And here's another guy who is having a good race. A couple of these guys. Ryan Gable moved from 25th to 7th. Jonathan Cutlip is up to 8th from 16th starting spot. So all three of these guys have passed quite a few race cars on their way towards the front of the field here. Gore, a piece of the grass through the kink. Going to struggle a little bit here towards Canada corner. Here comes Adriano Pinero. Gore with a defensive line, and he will be able to retain the 9th spot. Oh, maybe not.
Goes off.
It's the defense. Oh, Ethan Burrell got a piece of Gore. Here comes Ethan Stanley down pit road to kick off green flag pit stop. Stanley heads down. Fody stays out. Novak, Reynolds, everybody staying out. Stanley loves to do this, James, where he is the first car to pit when he has the track position, and then he goes out there and puts down really, really strong laps and pulls a huge gap on the guys who are waiting to pit.
Yeah, basically doing a little bit of a pseudo undercut. A pseudo because I don't know if he's necessarily taken tires.
He is.
He is. Okay, interesting. All right, well, then
Left
it's a
sides,
real undercut then.
The left sides went up. Yeah, right sides are going up as well. Stanley is taking fresh tires. I don't know that that's a terribly regular occurrence for Ethan Stanley. Typically, he pulls to pit road and goes fuel only in these circumstances, but here he will not do so. Tyler Fody will inherit the race lead as we get Daniel Gore, Ethan Burrell down pit road.
Gore took 2.
Gore took 2 tires, Burrell 4. So that gives Daniel Gore back the position he lost Ethan Burrell a couple of corners ago when he went off in Canada corner. Race lead is going to be a little bit interesting. Tyler Fody currently has it. He's obviously already through to the next round, as can be seen by the green number next to his name there on the pylon. Here, Seth Rawls coming off pit road. He had just taken 2 tires. Corey Abbott also with 2 tires, or maybe fuel only for some of these 8-second stops. I do want to see who's going to come down pit road this time. Leaders are in Canada corner. Fody trying to hold Novak off. Blake Reynolds just behind. And I think somebody's going to have to, one of these three is going to have to respond to Ethan Stanley this time, or things could get, the gap could start to widen.
Yeah, I think that might have been why Stanley elected to take 4 tires, because he just anticipates, especially with the lead he has, that he's not going to worry about it. Yep, both of the other Channel 199 cars bringing it in.
So does Justin Wadsworth.
Staying out.
Yep, Tyler Fody stays on the racetrack. Fody has nothing to lose, right? Tyler Fody can run this thing dry and then go on the attack later in the run. He is not required to go out there and win this race, but everybody that we are mentioning here heading down pit road, they do have to win this race. Those guys need to find a way to lock themselves into the next round. Tyler Fody is the only one who is clean, locked, and able to race without much concern for that point situation. Jonathan Cutlip, Adriano Pinero, and Ryan Gable, the only cars in the top group who stayed out. Ethan Stanley is down the front straightaway now. We're going to get a good idea of what that gap is going to be as Reynolds and Novak get ready to leave pit road. Stanley's going to have a gap, and it's going to be much larger, I think, by several seconds than what it was at the start of this green flag cycle. It was 5 seconds before the start.
It's about 6.5.
Yeah, it's a second and a half because Stanley pitted on the lap before.
Yeah, what I meant was it's 6.5 in total.
Right. So he gains a second. Oh, here's Talon off the track. We cycle through our pit stop times. Tells you whether or not they took. Really, tells you whether or not they took 4 tires or fewer. Because 14 seconds is a 4-tire stop. Anything less is fuel only or 2 tires. We'll wait for the timing and scoring to catch up. But I mean, looking at this, Ethan Stanley has about 7 seconds now on Blake Reynolds in second. And then Tooker and Novak. I mean, that's a monster gap. 7 seconds is...
Oh, Wadsworth off into the gravel.
Ooh, not what you want.
Gore as well.
I think those two might have... We're going to have to get a replay on that one.
No, they were completely separated incidents.
Wait, I think Gore followed Wadsworth off into the gravel is what I think
He
happened
did.
there. See if we can't get a replay of that one. We'll see some guys go synchronized sliding into the gravel trap. That is okay. Here it is. It was right here. Not. I think Gore just locked it up because Wadsworth gets in here, and when he gets on the throttle, this thing loosens up on him, and then Gore...
Yeah, yeets it off.
Yeah. Looks like his was on corner entries. Two separate incidents there in the same corner. So you mentioned it.
For any time that a car went off in that part of the track, something, 2 nickels, something weird's happened twice.
Yeah, it's you'd be rich already, I think, if you had a nickel every time somebody went off a turn 7. You mentioned it. The only 3 cars that have not pitted are the Lake Norman Chevys of Tyler Fode, Adriano Pinero, and Ryan Gavil. Those are the only ones to this point. Everybody else has come down pit road. Those guys are 1, 2, 3. Jonathan Cutlip just pitted from 4th, making Ethan Stanley now 4th.
3.
Yeah. Hey, Tyler Fode and both Pinero and Gavel, as they are not playoff drivers, none of these 3 have anything to lose. They can stay out. See, maybe there's a track blocking crash behind them. I don't think that'll happen. But also maybe they can use the clean air and the space between the cars to make up some ground and kind of minimize the loss. Wait for those guys behind them to burn up their tires a little bit and then come down, strap fresh tires on and see if they can't make up ground on the cars around them. I think it's a perfectly admirable strategy. There's really no way they make it to the end on fuel, I don't believe. I'm pretty sure they're multiple laps short, and there's just no way you're going to make it that long here at Road America. This track is just so long. Yeah, here comes Tyler Fode now. Fode down pit road. Does Pinero follow? No, Adriano Pinero is going to stay out. I don't remember if he led a lap at Daytona, but he led one here. Pinero is officially led a lap in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series.
First of many, I'm sure.
We'll see if he wants to make the switch over. I think he might be excited to stick with Indy cars, as he is a champion over there in that series. Really, really good at these road courses. Certainly having an admirable drive here thus far in this Belly Up Sports Cup Series, outpacing guys like Ryan Gavil right now and having a good run. Led a lap. Good qualifying effort in P3. Definitely a learning experience for a guy that is a rookie in this car, but extremely experienced in other versions of elite iRacing. And he's got a lot of talent, a lot of skill, and it's good to see it on display here on Wednesday night.
Absolutely.
So Tyler Fode, whatever pit stop he did, I'm willing to bet it was fuel only, dropped him out about a second and a half behind Ethan Stanley. So that's interesting. It's had to have been, 6.9 seconds. Had to have been fuel only for Tyler Fode, and he had to have taken less fuel than the other guys, because I think some of those guys took no fuel. I don't know that that's going to get Tyler Fode a win, but it might just net him a podium.
Yeah, and that's the big advantage you have of kind of running it out to when it's dry or close to dry, is because you have the opportunity to take less fuel. And obviously, it's simple math at that point. Obligatory Zach Evans, I was told there would be no math. You're stopped in the box shorter because you're not having to take enough fuel. That much fuel, and plus you're also kind of quicker as well because you're carrying less weight on the car, both in the laps before you make your pit and after you make your pit, because again you had to take less fuel. So
right,
it's a subtle little advantage that you don't see used a whole lot, because most tracks, most times you need tires. the tire
Right.
wear is killer, but here on a road course is not necessarily the case. So you can use that to your advantage more.
And we want to be clear on the, for the broadcast's sake, on a road course doesn't always mean the tires are an advantage, but on the road course in this next gen car, the tires absolutely are not wearing as much as, say, any other high horsepowered stock car, where you'll see the the rear tires burn off the car, and the drivers will be struggling with control after 10 or so laps here at a place like Road America. So that's definitely specific to this series, but it is something that we've seen over the past couple of seasons. And for right now, obviously, it's working out for Adriano Pinero, Ryan Gable. They have stayed on the racetrack and are maintaining a 1-2 spot about 23 seconds up the road on Ethan Stanley. I envision that both of them will continue to make that same strategy call that Tyler Fody did. Come in, put fuel only in the car, and see how far up they can get. Dave's been flashing up the fastest lap information. I do want to touch on that. We do award 1 point, just like in real NASCAR, for the fastest lap. Right now, it was Zach Novak last lap. So he's getting faster.
What everyone wanted to see, I'm sure.
He's stuck behind David Tooker right now, so back in 7th, but it would be de facto 5th once Pinero and Gable pit. So Novak not quite as close to Ethan Stanley as I thought. Blake Reynolds got past him on the pit cycle and has pulled away from both the 19 and the 42. And despite the 42 speed, the 66, 19, 40, and 91 have all maintained pace right at that same level, just not that fast. Let's see. Adrian Pinero stays out for another circuit. Ryan Gable also stays out for another circuit. Neither of these guys have a whole lot to lose. Obviously, Pinero, we've talked about him quite a significant amount tonight in making his second start of the season, second start of his career in this series. Ryan Gable did not make the playoffs. I think both of them feel like they got nothing to lose. Let's run it dry. Let's see if we can't figure out James's pit strategy call of keeping this car light, take as little fuel as possible on our pit stop. Just see if we can't end up in the top 10, right? Because I think both of these guys have been in the back half of the top 10, and they might even be guaranteeing themselves a run. Oh, Ryan Gable just went off track in turn 5.
That's not going to help the pit strat.
He did get back on the course, but yeah, now might be the time, Ryan. It might be the time to come down pit road here. He did wobble, hit the gravel trap, and rejoin. Quick replay of it. I'm sure Gable will ask me later, oh, did you see me go off track by myself? I'll tell him no. Well, we didn't see it.
Yeah. Wobble and bobble.
Absolutely not. That did cost him about 3.5 seconds of time to both Ethan Stanley and Adriano Pinero. Stanley is turning laps about 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds faster than those two guys. Actually, last time by, Stanley was only 0.3 faster than Pinero. Gable was the one 1.5 seconds off. Blake Reynolds is currently the fastest car on the track. He is not that far behind Ethan Stanley. He's closing up towards the back bumper of Tyler Fody as Blake Reynolds. Pinero stays out another lap. Ryan Gable stays out another lap. It's only 7 laps to go, James. I'm starting to wonder. I don't think they can make it.
Surely not, right?
No, I don't think so. It's a lot. That's a lot of miles. A lot of miles of this year road course. Yeah, what is it? 4 miles long.
Yep, right on the dot. In fact,
Yeah, it's a lot of miles. They only have so much fuel, so I'm gonna wipe it from my mind that these two can try to save fuel and get to the end. I don't think that's possible. I do, however, think that that this will work for them in pit strategy. We've talked about it. I'm very fascinated to see where they come out. because there is a whole cluster of cars. Justin Wadsworth, Ethan Burrell, Jonathan Cutlip, and Daniel Gore from 8th to 11th, all separated by about a second. If they could come out in front of those four guys, that would be the dream. That's what they need. They need to come out ahead of those four guys. They come out behind those four guys off pit road. This strategy did not work, right? But if they're able to stay ahead of Justin Wadsworth in 8th, who is 41 seconds behind the race leader Pinero, then I think it was a massive roaring success.
If only I knew how long the pit delta was.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ethan
Burrell goes off and Cutlip goes by.
Here we go. Adriano Pinero heading towards pit entry. Does he take that 26 car down pit road? He does not. And Pinero stays on track another lap. He's just racking up those laps, James.
Yeah.
Ryan Gavel will now pass pit lane. He will head down pit road. So Gavel has had enough. He will head down pit road. We will see where Ryan Gavel comes off. After that slide, I don't know that Gavel has quite the chance to come out of pit road ahead of those guys battling for the back half of the top 10. We'll follow him down pit road here and see. No tires. They have entered the front straightaway. Gavel has a pit stall way down pit road. So he's still on pit road. That whole group is driving by him on the front stretch right now. There they are. So Gavel will come out right behind Daniel Gore. About 2-3 seconds behind him. Adriano Pinero is probably going to come off pit road ahead of Justin Wadsworth, if I had to guess. He has turned some really good lap times out racing in the lead here.
Yeah, that's what I'd say too. Just trying to look at it, see if I can get a better understanding of where he might come out, but I still have no clue.
Yeah, I think that's what I've been going for here, is trying to line up where he'll come off pit road. I believe he'll be behind David Tooker in P7. That's my estimation. We will see. Because he was 10 seconds ahead of Ryan Gavel, right, before they pitted. So that would put him firmly between Tooker and Wadsworth. Here we go. Adriano Pinero has been leading this race for about 5 or 6 laps now. He will again not head down pit road. Do you think, James, do you think Pinero knows where the gas gauge is in the cup car? It's all the same. It's all in the same in the game, but I just have to make the joke.
He's well known for his IndyCar fuel saving, so maybe he's figured it out in Cup car.
Maybe he figured something out. Yeah. Battle is heating up, and let's go flip over to it, Dave, for what is now 4th between Tyler Fody and Blake Reynolds. Reynolds has caught Tyler Fody from well back. They are about 5-6 seconds behind Ethan Stanley. Here comes Blake Reynolds to the inside of Tyler Fody. Fody drives it in deep into turn 1, and Reynolds will have to hold off for now. Any time he wastes behind Tyler Fody is time he will not have to go up there and run down Ethan Stanley. Gilberto pulls out of the way. Fody and Reynolds go roaring by. And down this long... It's got actually turn 4 in it, but it's a long straightaway. Heading towards turn 5 here. Here comes Reynolds. Down to the inside. He will pass Tyler Fody for what is now P3.
For a tough pass like that, he really made it look kind of effortlessly.
He outbreak Tyler Fody getting down there and made it work. Back up to the race lead. Adriano Pinero, we believe, has to pit before the end of this race. This 26 car is not going to make it to the end on fuel. With just 5 laps to go, you would think, maybe there's a chance, but that's also about 20 miles. So think 20 laps on a 1 mile track, etc. And that's a lot of time left for Pinheiro and whatever gas is left in that tank, and there is none. Here comes Adriano Pinheiro down pit road. He will yield the lead to Ethan Stanley, who will take over the top spot here at Road America, looking to win, I believe, and to win and win and extend his stretch and his mark of total road course victories here in the Elite Belly Up Sports Cup Series.
Much to the shock and awe of everybody else.
You know, you say that, James. I don't believe that this was a gimme race for Ethan Stanley at all. Having watched how it went, he executed pit stops perfectly, and he's done it all with damage. But Zach Novak with a speeding penalty, he is proven to have a really fast car. Didn't execute pit stops as well as Blake Reynolds, and both of those guys got kind of surprise undercutted by Stanley, and then also Reynolds half spun going through the kink, and that's kind of created the gap that we see right now.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't the wasn't what we were expecting of him, just dog walking everyone. He definitely had to work a lot harder for it than a good chunk of his prior road course races. Like if he made one more, serious mistake, he would not be walking away with this win. He would not be in this position right now.
No, he would not. I do want to note, Adriano Pinheiro, I think, took tires. So he has fallen outside the top 10 and will not get his first top 10 finish in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series. I was thinking he would have made it happen. He is now back in 11th behind Ryan Gable. So whatever Pinheiro did during that pit stop, it was a little too long. Maybe pit entry wasn't as good as some of those other guys. I'm not sure what, but he wound up well back of, I think, where he probably could have been coming off pit road. Up front, it is Ethan Stanley. The gap back to Blake Reynolds is shrinking fairly significantly. Reynolds was 0.4 faster last lap, 0.2 the lap before. He's gained on Stanley just about every lap, but again, James, there's only 4 laps to go this time by. You're going to have to make up a whole lot more than just, a couple tenths here and there if you want to make up this gap.
Yeah, like he needs to be making up time hand over fist if he's going to have any hopes of getting himself the automatic qualifier this week. And while 7/10 is nice, is not enough.
No, it's not, but that he's about 0.3 from it being enough. So it's a lot closer. He's able to do 3 laps that much quicker than Ethan Stanley. He would be in striking distance on the final lap here, but I think once Ethan Stanley sees him in the mirror a little bit, he'll pick it up just a little bit more. Definitely driving conservatively, trying to make sure he maintains this result through the end of the race here. Yeah, he's actually opened it up a little bit. This lap has Ethan Stanley. That gap was 4.6 at the start-finish line. It is now 4.7. So Reynolds not closing nearly as much on Ethan Stanley this time. Through the carousel we go here at Road America. Check back in on our battle for the 7th position. Jonathan Cutlip has it. Daniel Gore wants it. Gore's had a nice recovery drive today. Fresh new paint scheme painted by Ray Bracey for the 69 car. And Jonathan Cutlip in his classic neon yellow. A couple of guys hunting for the playoffs here, and a good run tonight. Daniel Gore could very well have a real shot at advancing into the top 10 here next week.
Yeah, even with the pit road issue, obviously we've documented this is a heck of a comeback for Gore, and this could potentially be a season-saving comeback here if he isn't able to make up as much ground, or if he did get caught up in an incident. But P8, that's kind of right around where he was running for a good chunk of the race before that. So it's almost a bit of a wash at this point.
Yep. He's been able to recover nicely and give himself a real shot to be in the next round of the playoffs. And who knows, that guy's pretty quick. He might accidentally himself into one of these wins going down the stretch. They're going to be tough to come by, though. These Channel 199 cars have been really, really strong all season long. Ethan Stanley has several wins this season already, and he's looking to tack another one onto his total today. And many would have said he was going to, as Bojo's off the track. What happened to Ray? That car is really slow.
Yeah, I think
He's got some major front end damage. It's from even further back than this. Is that front end damage? Well, it's multiple laps ago. Trying to find it. It's like we've maybe got it. The Robalis photography replay machine down into turn 1. I think the damage is already there, but oh yeah. Definitely an issue turning. I think it's because of the damage on the right front of the car there. Looks like it was down that back straightaway. Not. This car won't turn anymore, though. That's his biggest problem right now. You know what? He hit the wall where Gilberto hit it, is what he did. Earlier in the race, that's where Bojo hit the wall. Here's another incident. Another playoff driver, actually, Seth Rawls, down towards Canada corner.
Apparently a barrel roll?
Oh,
my goodness.
What?
Go barrel!
Stayed in the gas. Stayed on the lead lap. He's fine. Nothing happened. Let's go on board. There is still some time. Blake Reynolds is still 3.5 seconds behind. Over and woo. 2 quick rolls. Throw it in first. Get going. Car's all good.
We might have another flip.
Oh my goodness. What, the same spot? It's Adriano. I mean, the same thing. Oh no. This one didn't roll back over. Oh no, Adriano. Oh, and a P11 with lap sled goes out the window by the car barrel rolling into Canada corner with 2 laps to go. Oh my goodness. How odd that we saw both of these incidents this late in the race, and that was the only time we saw them.
Yeah. On the same lap. That is weird.
Well, there are just 2 laps to go. Ethan Stanley navigating the carousel here into the kink. It's been a not as common of a drive for Ethan Stanley. But he has certainly been able to stay in control of this race despite some of the chaos that's occurred around him. Chaos that included him. He's got right front damage. He's had it for basically the entire stint here, but he's been able to drive through it. The gap is definitely closing back to Blake Reynolds, but it's not going to close fast enough. He's got one more circuit here and 3 seconds of extra gap to work with. I mean, Reynolds is definitely making inroads, but it's just not going to be enough.
No.
Barring a mistake from a guy who's pretty not prone to those, white flag is out for Ethan Stanley. 1 lap to go here in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series Wisconsin 150. Reynolds is close to 2.9 seconds. That is a lot of gain. But all Stanley has to do is make it cleanly through what are we at? 14 corners, all 14 of these corners. Down the long, we'll call it front straightaway. Into turn 5, got a piece of the gravel. It's all right. He lost a little bit of time on corner entry, gained it all on corner exit. Through turn 6 for Ethan Stanley. Now turn 7. Reynolds is close to 2.5 seconds. Turn 8. That was probably the last really scary spot. Maybe Canada corner as well.
Oh, Canada corner is definitely a scary spot.
We have seen cars flip over there today. 2.2 seconds back to Reynolds. Ethan Stanley still trying to hold the 66 at bay. Through the kink goes Stanley. The lead is still 2.2. Ethan Stanley down towards Canada corner, the last truly difficult corner to navigate. He matches through the braking zone, and Ethan Stanley is close to home free. He will have to navigate around the wounded car of Ray Bracey. But Ethan Stanley has driven an excellent race tonight. He rolls through the final corner here at Road America. He'll have to dodge the car off track to the left. And Ethan Stanley is going to win on a Elite Belly Up Series road course in this Wisconsin 150. Blake Reynolds will come home second. Tyler Fody is 10 seconds back in third. He will finish there. Zach Novak will actually finish in fourth. He got around David Tooker on this white flag lap. Tooker finishes in fifth. Good run for the 19 car. Justin Wadsworth will come home in sixth. Daniel Gore got by Jonathan Cutlip for seventh. Ethan Burrell will finish in eighth as the teammates celebrate on this front straightaway. And Ryan Gable will finish in 10th. After Gable, it is 3 playoff drivers, all of whom would tell you they ended up having a good day. That is Chad Frankenfield, Scott Crump, and Matthew Weeks, 11th, 12th, and 13th.
Yeah, good recovery from those two, considering what they went through early on in this race.
That's right. Here comes Crump to finish the race. And Road America is so big, guys are still closing out their evening. Oh, Scott's not the winner. He did finish 12th. We'll watch the rest of the field drive on by here. Corey Abbott with a nice P14. One Corey can definitely feel good about. Seth Rawls barrel rolled and yet finished 15th. Got to feel good about that. Did our Daytona winner. Call the last 2 cars on the lead lap to the finish. Here's Brent Jones, P16. Or rather, Justin Vandermarl, P16. Brent Jones will finish P17. A nice lead lap finish for Brent. Get a chance to show this scheme off as we close the broadcast out. Ray Bracey will finish 18th. He'll be that first car 1 lap down. You saw him go a lap down at the beginning of the race. Here's Brent. And that is officially the end of the Wisconsin 150. Here's the results. We just kind of went through them already. You can take a look, find your favorite driver. Top 9 guys in the playoff hunt, and 13 of the top 15. Pretty good. The 2 guys who ended up with the really big issues, obviously Paul Mikulajczyk and Garrison Hogan did not show up to the race tonight. They will probably be in a must-win situation next week. And then Gavin Hibbs will finish P24 as a playoff driver as well. See if we can't bring one of these guys up. Ethan Stanley's in the waiting room. He's ready to get interviewed. I would try to I'm going to grab Tyler Fody. We're going to pull Tyler Fody in so that we can start these interviews and start with P3. So Tyler, strong run tonight, but you finished about 12 seconds off the race lead, and yet you were on the podium. But it was pretty uneventful. Take me through your night.
Yeah, we'll take it. First off, I came into this feeling about 5th place speed through all the practice, and then through the first stage there, that was pretty evident. It was fun. Those guys kept battling each other. I was able to kind of tag along and pretend like I was as quick as the front 4 there. But yeah, I was hanging on with them. Made a little mistake there. Got the grass. That woke me up for sure. Got the reset. And pretty much, yeah, we were just talking about the strategy from that point for the second run, tires or no tires, and honestly, it could have gone either way. But specifically for my scenario and what was going on, I was um, always going to go with the no tire call and kind of hope that those guys that all took tires together, like Tucker and Novak, Blake, would all start battling each other, because you could really slow each other up doing that. So wanted to go no tires, get out in front of them. Hopefully they battled. Looked like Blake had got through there a little better, and he caught up to me, and I just waved him on by. I knew every lap was going to count there, and fortunately Novak got hung up with Tucker a little bit battling, and yeah, left it basically to the very last corner with Novak running me down there. So yeah, we'll take third.
And Tyler, I mean, with that, obviously you were locked in last week with the race win. So tonight has to feel pretty good, but next week, Talladega feels like you could probably relax, just try to go for the win, or maybe try to get your teammates some points next week.
Yeah, well, definitely we'll see if we can do something there. It's always fun. I know Scott had a pretty decent night. We'll just have to see where he's at in points. But hopefully good to the next round, and then we can just go out there with some of the other teammates and see what we can do.
And Tyler, you got any shout outs for us here before we send you off tonight?
Yeah, just Lake Norman guys there, Gavel and Scott, Caleb as well before he got murdered, I guess, on the back straight. I got to go back and look at that. But yeah, shout out to those guys. Also, big shout out to Adriano for stepping in tonight. It was cool to see him out here on a road course in a stock car. So that's it for him this season, but hopefully we can have him back for some more races next season. Always fun running with him. Shout out to Cutlip with JD Designs, painting all of our schemes. And then shout out to you guys here in the booth for doing all the commentary and the cameras.
Appreciate it, Tyler, and congrats on yet another good podium. And we'll see you. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Tyler Fody, third on the podium. James, I'll let you have an interview here with Blake Reynolds.
All right. Blake, James in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Well, pretty good night out there for you. He gave Ethan pretty much all he could handle there for most of the race and all the way up to the end as well.
Yeah, I really wish I didn't have that spin into the kink. I still don't know what happened. I just looked at it back. I had like the same inputs. I didn't really clip the grass on the way in. I'm not really sure what caused that. The set was a little tonight. Like the balance, like the bumps would be bumpy. The bumps would be smooth, and then the non-bumps would be bumpy. It was very strange. The car felt like it was Humpty Dumpty on top of the wall there, and then anytime you tried to push it, it would fall off, and you'd spin out or lock up a tire. It's kind of crazy. That last run, I figured it out. I was taking chunks out of Stanley. I really wish I had been within like 5 seconds instead of like, I think it was 9 when I came out of the pits. I think I could have got him by the end of the race.
Yeah, we were actually literally on board with you when that happened, and it looked like, at least from what we saw, you caught a good chunk of the grass there past the inside curb, and it just kind of hooked the car around.
Well, I was out of control before that, which was crazy. I wasn't aiming, I was kind of using the curb, but I wasn't trying to go over it because that would cause it to bottom out. Yeah, I lost it like before that. It was really crazy. Yeah, but I mean, honestly, a fun night. It's kind of crazy. I'm looking here at Canada Corner. There's gravel on the left and right. The grass is just white on the exit of Canada Corner. Wow. I mean, fun night. Won the stage. Got second. Again, I think this has got to be like the 4th or 5th week in a row. One mistake causes me to lose the race, or I finished second. I don't know how many times in the last 5 or 6 weeks. So, good night. Good night for the DMW Toyota Camry. Shout out to Channel 199 Sim Racing for having my back. Racecraft Academy, Track Racer Simulation. JD Design, or no, this is a Splash and Go graphics paint scheme here. You guys are putting it on, Chad and everyone. I guess I'll apologize to Chad. Apparently, I got into him on that restart. I think he lost it before I touched him, but we'll let people have their own opinions. But yeah, good night.
Alrighty, well, we appreciate you, Blake, and hopefully we're.
Wait, hang on. What do you guys think of that incident? Sorry, James.
I think you got him, and that's what squirreled him up. But
damn. Oh well. I'm just the dirtiest driver in the world.
We'll see you, Blake. We'll probably see you next week. You seem to talk to us just about every week. You're getting to be buddies up here, even though you had to put us on the spot.
It's all good. I'll see y'all.
See you, Blake. Grab Ethan Stanley, the race winner here, and talk to him. And Ethan, it wasn't one of your usual road course domination nights. Seemed like you had a whole lot of trials and tribulations tonight, but you did manage to come home with the victory. I would say take me through your night, but I do want to ask about the damage you got in that incident right after the stage. It seemed like that was visually impactful, but I wanted to see if it actually did impact your car.
Yeah, I didn't really notice it at first, but I think throughout the run, I kind of noticed it was really hurting me in like the fast corners, like the kink and like turn 1 and a couple other spots. But it was about 20 seconds of damage when I came down pit road, so it wasn't anything too major. But yeah, just tough race. Really struggled with the car. Just setup was difficult. I'll say that. It was quick, but it's just like felt like the car had no contact patch, so I had a really hard time adapting to it. But yeah, just all about minimizing mistakes. It's so easy to just go off the track, spin, do whatever, and ultimately that's what won me the race.
And Ethan, take me through the pit call to come down early. It seems like you really always try to utilize the undercut. Was there ever a point after you made the undercut where you were a little worried that Blake would be able to run you down? Because he got pretty close by the end there.
That was kind of a defensive move, to be honest, because if you came out of the pits, you had about 1.5 seconds more pace than like your long run pace. So just wanted to make sure that nobody undercut me, and I knew the fall off wasn't too bad towards the end, and he was starting to catch me, but I was going pretty easy towards the end just to make it to the finish line. But yeah, just a tough one.
And then Ethan, obviously, this also locks you into the next round of the playoffs, so you don't have to worry about Talladega next week causing any chaos. For you, it seems like you can go out to just try to win that race. And I know you are not the biggest fan of the old super speedway style racing, so how does it feel to kind of have that relieved as you chase a championship here in this Belly Up Sports Cup Series?
Oh, it's pretty nice to be locked in for the next round. I mean, I like the super speedway stuff. It's just I don't have the luck.
Fair enough. I mean, I know you and I both got wadded up in one in the trucks the other day, but any shout outs here before we send you off tonight?
Yeah, of course. Big shout out to Racecraft Academy, bringing me on the season. 4 wins so far. Feeling pretty good with the season, so how's it's going so far. And big shout out to Apex Gaming PCs and Next Level Racing being the sponsors on the car. Big shout out to Jonathan Cutlip at JD Designs for painting all these cars for me. And then just big shout out to you guys up in the booth. Always love watching all these back. Big thanks to James for last minute putting the setup together. I know some people complained about it, but it's better than having nothing. And then just big shout out to Chad and all the admins that run this stuff.
Gotcha, Ethan. Well, congrats on your win. I know you're looking forward to getting another one, but we'll see you next week at Talladega. Hopefully you can keep it going.
Yep. See you guys around.
With that, James, that is the Wisconsin 150. Any final thoughts as Ethan Stanley collects yet another Belly Up Sports Cup Series win?
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting race. I think a lot of us were kind of nervous about this race being kind of a snooze since this car doesn't always put on the best road course races, but I think that was pretty much the opposite. This was a really entertaining race and one of the better road course races I've seen from this car, honestly.
We do good. We've seen some good road course races, I think, for sure. In this group, this group of drivers usually is able to overcome the deficiencies of the car. So I would agree with you there, and say that, yeah, tune in next week for Talladega. It'll be a very different type of race next week than you were seeing tonight. So for all of us here at the Elite Racing Network for the Belly Up Sports Cup Series, that was the Wisconsin 150, and we'll catch you next time.